One, you're on the air.
Okay, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you all for being here. Thank you all at home for watching this meeting of the Town Board of the Town of Carmel. Today's date is April 7th, 2021. Before we get started, as always, we're going to have the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag, so would everybody please rise? And Councilwoman McDonough, would you lead us tonight?
Justice for all. Everyone, please remain standing for a moment of silence to remember all of the men and women who are fighting for our freedom. Thank you.
Thanks, sir. Okay, once again, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us tonight for this meeting of the Town Board of the Town of Carmel. Tonight's meeting is a Town Board voting meeting. So what that means is we're going to be acting on the items that we discussed at the March 17th work session agenda. So tonight we're going to be voting on those items that we talked about that evening. And I just hope that everybody's enjoying this beautiful spring weather. Today was a really, really nice day, and hopefully the nice weather stays with us and things start to look really good outside. So we're looking forward to that. So for the record, all town board members are present with us this evening, as is our deputy town clerk, Alice Daly. Alice, thanks for being with us tonight. We have two town council with us tonight. Greg Fulchetti is our town council, and Joe Charbonneau is our special town council. Joe's here tonight because of the public hearing that we're going to be having on the cable TV franchise agreement with Comcast of New York, LLC. So, and we also have joining us via Skype is Frank Monaco, who's the chairman of the Cable TV Advisory Committee. Frank, thanks for joining us. And we have Matt Skanes with Comcast of New York, LLC. Matt, thanks for joining us also. The reason I asked them to attend tonight and to have Joe here as well, if there was any members of the public that had any comments, questions, or concerns with the franchise agreement, that they would be here to respond to their questions. So I don't think we're going to have any. We might, but at this time, I'm going to ask our Deputy Town Clerk, Alice Daly, to please read the notice of the public hearing.
Notice is hereby given that the Town Board of the Town of Carmel will conduct a public hearing at Town Hall, 60 McAlpin Avenue, Mahopac, New York, 10541, on Wednesday, April 7, 2021, at 7 p.m., or as soon thereafter that evening as possible, on a proposed contract renewing a cable television franchise agreement with Comcast of New York, LLC, and that pursuant to Title 16 CRR NY, Section 894.7, copies of all franchise applications as well as copies of the contract, which is proposed to be renewed, are available for public inspection during normal business hours at Carmel Town Hall, 60 McAlpin Avenue, Mahopac, New York. At said public hearing, all interested persons shall be heard on the subject thereof. The Town Board will make every effort to assure that the public hearing is accessible to persons with disabilities. Anyone requiring special assistance and/or reasonable accommodations should contact the Town Clerk. By order of the Town Board of the Town of Carmel, Ann Spofford, Town Clerk.
Okay, thank you, Alice, for the reading of the notice of the public hearing. This time, I need a motion to open the public hearing.
So moved.
Okay, so moved by Councilman Lombardi, seconded by Councilwoman McDonough and Councilman Channel. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, the public hearing is open for this evening's public hearing on the renewing of a cable television franchise agreement with Comcast New York, LLC. Is there any members of the public that are here tonight that would like to come up and comment on the cable TV franchise agreement with Comcast? Come on up at this time.
Mr. Supervisor, there being
Yes.
no members of the public here to comment, I move to close the public hearing.
Second.
Okay, Councilman Lombardi moved to close the public hearing. Councilman Borelli seconded it. All those in favor of closing?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, it's closed. Frank and Matt?
Thank you.
You can either stay for the rest of the meeting or you could go about your business, and we appreciate you joining us tonight.
Hey, Kenny,
Thanks so much for being
Thank
here.
you, Frank.
Yeah, I just want to thank Frank and Joe.
Hold on.
I just want to thank Frank and Joe and the Cable Committee for all of their hard work. They've been working on this diligently for quite a while, and I really appreciate their work.
Did you include Joe?
I did, I said,
Okay.
yes, I said Joe.
Okay, all right.
So we'll have a, appreciate that, Kenny.
Joe,
No, Joe, I said you.
I know you did. I heard you.
He just didn't hear
I
it.
just wasn't listening.
I think that's, Joe, I think that's where I
Wanted to
left
make
off.
Yeah.
And I'll
Thank you.
Great job,
prepare
Joe.
a
Thank you, Frank.
resolution approving the contract.
And everyone else on the cable committee.
Next, when?
Your next voting meeting,
Next voting meeting.
which is
Okay.
2 weeks, all right?
All right, all right. Good night, Frank. Good night, Matt.
Good night.
Yep, night, be well.
The only thing that I would say is we will be coming up to the Verizon franchise agreement in short order, and there are only 2 members of the cable committee presently, so I don't know if the board wants to advertise or solicit other members for that. That would probably be a good idea.
Is that in
Yes.
23?
When is,
I think it's
It was from 08.
23, yeah.
So-
wait, so it's
555.
it's coming up
We'll get
due in
notice.
23?
No, yes, so we'll get notice probably
Next year.
at the end of this year, beginning of next year.
Okay.
That's
So
when
you
we
have
like
some
done.
time.
Yep,
So let's not put anybody on it and then not have them do anything for a
Right.
year, so let's wait till next year.
Right, but if, in case I don't get the opportunity to talk to you about it, this is it.
I got a good memory.
Right.
Okay.
thanks, Joe.
All right, Joe, thank you. So Greg, on April 14th, which is the next
21.
21, I'm sorry, April
next
21, you'll have a resolution for that? Okay. All right, great. Thank you. Okay, so that concludes the public hearing for tonight. We're going to go on to the agenda items. So resolutions 1, 2, and 3, council has asked that if you just read the top portion of the resolution in the dark font, the dark bold, and then defer to council, and he's going to summarize it. And then once Greg has finished summarizing the resolution, then you have to offer it as read, and then you need a second, and then we'll take a vote on it, all right? So just the top portion.
Okay.
Okay, so the first item on the agenda tonight, resolution number 1, is authorizing the cost of engineering assessment expenses in connection with improvements to the Lake Cassie and Upper Teakettle Lake dams in and for the town of Carmel, Putnam County, New York, at a maximum estimated cost of $143,200, and authorizing the issuance of up to $143,200 bonds of said town to pay the cost thereof. Essentially, I just read
You
it.
just read it.
Exactly, you just read
Okay,
it.
so rather than you
Thank
reading
you.
it again, Bob, Greg, go ahead and summarize.
So this is a resolution that authorizes the issuance of $143,200 in bonds for your engineering costs for Phase 2 of the Cassie and Teakettle Dam rehabilitation. So what you can do is offer this as summarized and as pre-filed with the town clerk.
I offer this as summarized and pre-filed by the town clerk,
And you offer the resolution as read.
as read.
Second,
No, as,
Seconded by Councilwoman McDonough. Roll call vote?
Councilman Shano?
yes.
Councilman Morelli?
Yes.
Councilman Lombardi?
Aye.
Councilwoman McDonough?
yes,
Supervisor Schmidt?
Yes, motion carried. Thank you. Okay, second resolution is a resolution authorizing, subject to permissive referendum, the issuance of $750,000 in bonds of the town of Carmel, Putnam County, New York, to pay the cost of road construction and resurfacing throughout and in and for the said town of Carmel. Council, go
Greg.
ahead.
Sure. So this is your paving authorization, borrowing for paving this year for highway, and this is subject to a permissive referendum. So if you want to offer it as summarized in the amount of $750,000 and as pre-filed with the town clerk.
yes, so I offer resolution number 2 as summarized and pre-filed in the office of the town clerk.
And you offer the resolution as read.
Do you want to read
Yes,
it or
I
no?
do.
Okay, need a second?
Second,
Seconded by Councilman Shano. Roll call vote?
Councilman Shano?
yes.
Councilman Morelli?
Yes.
Councilman Lombardi?
Aye.
Councilwoman McDonough?
Yes,
Supervisor Schmidt?
Yes, motion carried. Okay, next resolution, number 3, is a resolution authorizing, subject to permissive referendum, construction of drainage improvements throughout and in and for the said town of Carmel, Putnam County, New York, at a maximum estimated cost of $200,000, and authorizing the issuance of $200,000 in bonds of said town to pay for the cost thereof. Greg?
Okay, again, authorizing up to $200,000 for drainage improvements, borrowing of $200,000 for drainage improvements in the town for 2021, subject to a permissive referendum. If you want to offer it as summarized and as pre-filed with the town clerk.
I offer the resolution as read and summarized
Second?
Pre-filed with the
and pre-filed with the town clerk.
Second.
All right, it's offered by Councilman Borelli, seconded by Councilman Lombardi. Roll call vote?
Councilman Shano?
Yes.
Councilman Borelli?
Yes.
Councilman Lombardi?
Aye.
Councilwoman McDonough?
Yes.
Supervisor Schmidt?
Yes, motion carried. Thank you all. Thanks, Greg. Okay, resolution number 4 is a resolution authorizing encumbrances of 2020 funds for the expenditures in, of 2020 funds for expenditures in 2021. Councilman Lombardi, would you read 4?
Whereas it is recommended by the Town Controller's Office that the 2020 government budget funds be encumbered or reserved for the 2021 budget appropriation based on recent approved Town Board resolution and/or specific projects in progress for various purposes. Now therefore be it resolved, the Town Board of Town of Carmel authorizes the Town Controller's Office to encumber or reserve unexpended 2020 government fund monies for expenditures in fiscal year 2021 as follows. The purpose is Mahopac Falls Fire Department. Maximum amount is $72,230, and it is for reserve for dry hydrant estimate. I offer the resolution as read.
Second.
Okay, offered by Councilman Lombardi, seconded by Councilwoman McDonough. Roll call vote?
Councilman Shano?
Yes.
Councilman Borelli?
Yes.
Councilman Lombardi?
Aye.
Councilwoman McDonough?
Yes.
Supervisor Schmidt?
Yes, motion carried. Okay, resolution number 5 is a resolution authorizing payment for software licensing agreement and services. It's Edmunds GovTech, Inc. Councilman Shano, would you read 5?
Whereas the town board has previously authorized the entry into software licensing agreement utilized by both the Office of the Receiver of Tax and the Office of the Town Clerk with Business Automated Services, Inc., Clifton Park, New York. And whereas the town board has been advised that Business Automated Services, Inc. has been acquired by Edmunds GovTech Incorporated, Northfield, New Jersey. Now therefore be it resolved that the town board of the town of Carmel hereby acknowledges the acquisition by Edmunds GovTech, Inc. as referenced herein, and authorizes all future payments due under the terms of any licensing agreements with Business Automated Services, Inc. be made to Edmunds GovTech, Inc. effective immediately. I offer this resolution as read.
Second.
Okay, seconded by Councilwoman McDonough. Roll call vote?
Councilman Shano?
Yes.
Councilman Borelli?
Yes.
Councilman Lombardi?
Aye.
Councilwoman McDonough?
Yes.
Supervisor Schmidt?
Yes, motion carried. Okay, next resolution, number 6, is a resolution accepting a proposal for professional services. This is for grant writing, and it's Millennium Strategy, LLC. Councilwoman McDonough, would you read 6?
Sure. Resolved that the town board of the town of Carmel hereby accepts the proposal of Millennium Strategies LLC, Morristown, New Jersey, for grant writing services for the period of April 1st, 2021 through March 31st, 2022, at a cost not to exceed $36,000 annually. And be further resolved that upon presentation of insurance certificates in form acceptable to Town Council, Town Supervisor Kenneth Schmidt is hereby authorized to execute any and all documentation reasonably necessary to effectuate this authorization. And be it further resolved that Town Comptroller Mary Ann Maxwell is hereby authorized to make any and all necessary budget transfers or modifications required to fund the costs of this authorization. I offer this resolution as read.
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Lombardi. Roll call vote?
Councilman Shano?
Yes.
Councilman Borelli?
No.
Councilman Lombardi?
Aye.
Councilwoman McDonough?
Yes.
Supervisor Schmidt?
Yes. So it carried 4 yes and 1 no. Okay, next resolution, number 7, is a resolution accepting a proposal of Jackson Lewis LLP for Labor Council Services. This is a 3-year agreement for years 2021, 2022, and 2023, and it represents a $20 increase over the 3 years. So for 2021, it'll go to $300 per hour. For 2020, from $295 to $300 per hour, $5 increase. 2022, it goes to $305 per hour. It's also a $5 increase per hour for 2022. And for 2023, it's a $10 increase over 2022, and it's $315 per hour. So as I said, $20 increase over the 3 years term of the proposal. And I want to thank Councilman Lombardi for reaching out to Jackson Lewis, because there was some discussion here last time we met about the hourly rates that Jackson Lewis had originally proposed to charge the town, and Councilman Lombardi reached out to one of the principals of Jackson Lewis and had a conversation with them, and they agreed to decrease the hourly rate And I believe it was a couple of years of the agreement. So thank you, Frank, for reaching out to them.
My
Appreciate
pleasure.
it. And Mike, I don't know if you did or not, but I know there was some discussion about you as well, reaching out, so, thanks, Frank.
I did.
Okay.
Let me read it.
Yep, read it, please, yeah.
Resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Carmel hereby accepts the proposal of Jackson Lewis LLP, White Plains, New York, for 2021 Labor Council services. Said proposal dated March 29, 2021, and in form as attached hereto and is on file in the office of the Town Supervisor. Be it further resolved that the Town Supervisor is authorized to sign said proposal on behalf of the town. I offer this resolution as read.
Second.
Okay, seconded by Councilman Lombardi. Roll call vote.
Councilman Shano?
Yes.
Councilman Borelli?
No.
Councilman Lombardi?
Aye.
Councilwoman McDonough?
Yes.
Supervisor Schmidt?
Yes, motion carries. So 4 yes and 1 no. Okay, next resolution, number 8, is a resolution authorizing entry into an agreement with Putnam County Department of Real Property Tax Services. Councilman Lombardi, would you read 8?
Excuse me, whereas appropriations have been made in the 2021 budget for entries of various contracts for the provision of various services to the town of Carmel, and whereas said contracts are on file in the Office of Supervisor for inspection and review of all town board members, now therefore be it resolved, the Town Board of the Town of Carmel hereby authorizes Town Supervisor Ken Schmidt to enter into and execute on behalf of the town of Carmel the contracts with the Putnam County Department of Real Property Tax Services for preparation of the tentative assessment roll for year 2021 in form as attached hereto and made part hereof. I offer the resolution as read.
Second.
Okay, seconded by Councilwoman McDonough. Roll call vote.
Councilman Shano?
Yes.
Councilman Borelli?
Yes.
Councilman Lombardi?
Aye.
Councilwoman McDonough?
Yes.
Supervisor Schmidt?
Yes, motion carried. And it's been 50 cents per parcel for as long as I can remember, right, Greg? They haven't increased it at all over the years?
I think
So
that since you got here, I think it's been 50%.
It
50
has.
cents a parcel and an extra penny for special districts. Something along
Yeah.
those lines. It's never
There's
changed.
virtually no increase at all. And this, again, this is for the preparation of the tentative assessment roll for calendar year 2021, that Putnam County handles that for the town of Carmel at a very nominal cost, very low cost, so thank you. Okay, next resolution, number 9, is a resolution authorizing advertising for bids for the replacement of existing water main on Woodland Court in Carmel Water District number 8. Councilman Shano, would you read 9, please?
Resolved that pursuant to the request of the town engineer, Richard J. Franzetti, P.E., Town Clerk Ann Spofford is hereby authorized to advertise for bids for the replacement of the existing water main on Woodland Court within Carmel Water District Number 8, and be it further resolved that the town engineer is to furnish detailed specifications for the above to the town clerk to be used in conjunction with the town's general bid conditions and specifications. I offer this resolution as read.
Second.
Okay, offered by Councilman Shano, seconded by Councilwoman McDonough. Roll call vote.
Councilman Shano?
Yes.
Councilman Borelli?
Yes.
Councilman Lombardi?
Aye.
Councilwoman McDonough?
Yes.
Supervisor Schmidt?
Yes, motion carried. So the cost of this will be borne by those residents in Water District Number 8. This is a very short section of water main that needs to be replaced due to its age, and the customer has been, there's some discoloration in their water because of the age of the water main. So it's a very, very short section, and it should not cost a lot to make that change, but it's paid for by the users of Water District Number 8, which Woodland Court is one of them, and it's not paid for by the entire taxpayers of the town of Carmel. Okay, next resolution, number 10, is a resolution authorizing signing of change order number 2, townwide AMI meter installation project contract C-248. Councilwoman McDonough, would you read 10, please?
Yes. Whereas the Town Board of the Town of Carmel has previously awarded the contract for the above project to National Metering Services, and whereas Town Engineer Richard J. Franzetti, P.E., has provided a proposed change order number 2 to the aforesaid contract to the Town Board for consideration and review. Now therefore be it resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Carmel, acting as commissioners of the various water districts within the Town of Carmel, hereby authorizes the Town Supervisor to sign change order number 2 to the aforementioned contract, resulting in no overall contract price increase or decrease. Said change order to be in form as attached hereto and made a part hereof. I offer this resolution as read.
Second.
Okay, offered by Councilwoman McDonough, seconded by Councilman Lombardi. Roll call vote.
Councilman Shano?
Yes.
Councilman Borelli?
Yes.
Councilman Lombardi?
Aye.
Councilwoman McDonough?
Yes.
Supervisor Schmidt?
Yes, motion carried. I just want to explain this for a couple seconds. So this change order is due to the substantial completion dates changing, and they're ready for final payment dates changing. So this started in January 25th of 2019, and the original ready for our final payment was May 25th, 2019. And then there was another change in substantial completion from December 15th, 2019 to April 15th, 2020, when COVID related matters, the pandemic started in March of 2020. So we ran into issues with installations due to COVID. And then the final substantial completion, what we just approved tonight, is a substantial completion by June 30th, 2021, and ready for final payment October 28th, 2021. So the dates of the substantial completion and ready for final have changed. The cost of the project, which was originally $708,000, hasn't changed at all. So it's a no-cost change order. But, I just want to make this statement that if you live in a district that's serviced by municipal water, so you have a municipal water meter in your home. If you haven't had that changed out yet, if you have the old style meter and you haven't had the new style meter, it's a radio read meter that sends signals, and the water meter, the water meter reading to the water department here at Town Hall. If you haven't had that changed out yet, please call the engineering department at 628-1500, extension 184, and make arrangements to have your new meter installed. There's probably 300 homes that haven't had their meters installed yet. We have to get those meters changed out before National Meter Service finishes up here in the town of Carmel. So if you live in a water district and you know your meter hasn't been changed yet, please make arrangements to have it changed out before the end of this extension we just granted for substantial completion. 628-1500, extension 184.
Because, Kenny, there will be a cost to the resident if they don't.
If you don't,
Yeah.
there will be.
And it's a substantial cost. It's not a small one.
I think it's $250.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you'll save yourself $250 if you have National Metering Service install it prior to them leaving town and completing the project. So if you do it after that, unfortunately, it's going to cost you money to have it installed. Right now, it's part of the new meter installation project, so there'll be no cost to you for the installation of it. If you wait, there will be. So please make arrangements to have that installed. Okay, next resolution, number 11, is a resolution authorizing budget modifications for 2021/01 ending February 28th, 2021. Councilman Borelli, would you read 11?
Whereas the town comptroller, Mary Ann Maxwell, has reviewed the proposed budget modifications for the period ending February 28th, 2021, with the town board, which are detailed and explained on the attached budget revision schedule 2021/01. Now therefore, be it resolved that the town board of the town of Carmel hereby authorizes and ratifies the budget modifications/revisions for the period ending February 28th, 2021, as shown itemized on Schedule 2021/01, which is attached hereto, incorporated herein, and made a part hereof. I offer this resolution as read.
Second.
Okay, seconded by Councilman Shannell. Roll call vote.
Councilman Shannell?
Yes.
Councilman Borelli?
Yes.
Councilman Lombardi?
Aye.
Councilwoman McDonough?
Yes.
Supervisor Schmidt?
Yes, motion carried. Okay, next resolution, number 12, is a resolution authorizing fund balance modifications. This is for years 2014 to 2020, and this is from the Office of the Town Comptroller. Councilman Lombardi, would you read 12?
Whereas the Town Controller has reviewed the draft year-end fund balance analysis for years 2014 through 2020 with the Town Board, which are detailed and explained on the attached schedule, now therefore be resolved, the Town Board of the Town of Carmel hereby authorizes the increase of reserves for compensated absent reserve fund and capital purpose fund in the highway funds for years 2014 through 2020, as shown on itemized on the schedule as attached hereto, incorporated herein, and made part hereof. I offer the resolution as read.
Second.
Seconded by Councilwoman McDonough. Roll call vote.
Councilman Shannell?
Yes.
Councilman Borelli?
Yes.
Councilman Lombardi?
Aye.
Councilwoman McDonough?
Yes.
Supervisor Schmidt?
Yes, motion carried. Thank you. Okay, so 13 and 14 are resolutions of settlement of litigation associated with certiorari tax assessment challenges. So the first one is Councilman Shannon will be reading. It's 13. It's authorizing settlement of litigation. Bob?
Whereas there is currently pending in the Supreme Court, County of Putnam, State of New York, under index number 501012/2020, certain lawsuits entitled Equity Trust Company versus the Town of Carmel regarding the tax assessments for the property known and designated Town of Carmel tax map number 77.17-1-2, and whereas a proposed settlement of the litigation has been negotiated by Glenn Drosy, Town Assessor, and Town Council Gregory L. Facchetti, both of whom have recommended approval of the proposed settlement. Now therefore be it resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Carmel hereby authorizes the settlement of the aforementioned litigation as recommended, and be it further resolved that the Town Council is hereby authorized to sign on behalf of the Town of Carmel the stipulation of settlement and corresponding consent judgment reflecting the terms of the settlement. I offer this resolution as read.
Second.
Okay, seconded by Councilman Borelli and Councilwoman McDonough. Roll call vote.
Councilman Shannon?
Yes.
Councilman Borelli?
Yes.
Councilman Lombardi?
Aye.
Councilwoman McDonough?
Yes.
Supervisor Schmidt?
Yes, motion carried. Thank you. Okay, Resolution 14, authorizing settlement of litigation. Councilwoman McDonough, would you read 14?
Sure. Whereas there is currently pending in the Supreme Court, County of Putnam, State of New York, under index number 500668/2020, a certain lawsuit entitled Rifkin Group LLC versus the Town of Carmel regarding the tax assessments for the property known and designated Town of Carmel tax map number 55.11-1-1. And whereas the proposed settlement of the litigation has been negotiated by Glenn Drosy, Town Assessor, and Town Council Gregory L. Facchetti, both of whom have recommended approval of the proposed settlement. Now therefore be it resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Carmel hereby authorizes the settlement of the aforementioned litigation as recommended. And be further resolved, the Town Council is hereby authorized to sign on behalf of the Town of Carmel the stipulation of settlement and corresponding consent judgment reflecting the terms of this settlement. I offer this resolution as read.
Second.
Okay, seconded by Councilman Shannon. Roll call vote.
Councilman Shannon?
Yes.
Councilman Borelli?
Yes.
Councilman Lombardi?
Aye.
Councilwoman McDonough?
Yes.
Supervisor Schmidt?
Yes, motion carried. Thank you. Okay, next resolution, number 15, is a resolution authorizing Chief of Police Anthony Hoffman to proceed with the purchase of police vehicles. Councilman Borelli, would you read 15?
Resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Carmel hereby authorizes Chief of Police Anthony Hoffman to proceed with the purchase of one new 2021 Ford Interceptor police hybrid SUV vehicle at a cost not to exceed $40,031.25 from Bayer Ford, Morristown, New Jersey, under Westchester County Contract RFBWC 19023, pursuant to General Municipal's Law 103-16. And be it further resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Carmel hereby authorizes Police Chief Anthony Hoffman to proceed with the purchase of one new 2021 Jeep Latitude SUV vehicle at the cost not to exceed $26,907 from NYE Automotive Group, Oneonta, New York, and under New York State Office of General Services Contract Award 48778. And be it further resolved that Town Supervisor Kenneth Schmidt is hereby authorized to sign all necessary documents to purchase said vehicles from the respective vendors set forth herein in accordance with their bid contract quotations dated March 31st, 2021 and March 3rd, 2021. And be it further resolved that Town Comptroller Mary Ann Maxwell is hereby authorized to make any and all necessary budget revisions to effect the aforesaid purchase transactions authorized herein. I offer this resolution as read, and for clarification, because I questioned it just now with the supervisor, these weren't bought locally because they were purchased under state contracts. We always try to do things locally. This time we had to go under a state bid.
Second.
All right, so offered by Councilman Borelli, seconded by Councilman Lombardi and Councilwoman McDonough. Roll call vote.
Councilman Shannon?
Yes.
Councilman Borelli?
Yes.
Councilman Lombardi?
Aye.
Councilwoman McDonough?
Yes.
Supervisor Schmidt?
Yes, motion carried. And, I give Police Chief Anthony Hoffman credit for this. This is the first hybrid police patrol vehicle that we've had here in the town of Carmel. And he did quite a bit of research on these Ford Explorer hybrids. His former department, the town of Mamaroneck, they just purchased them. The town of Yorktown just purchased one. So other departments are going to these cars, the hybrids. And, I give him a lot of credit for that, so it's going to help save, it's going to be more efficient, and it's going to save in costs to run these vehicles. And I think overall, there's going to be a savings at the, during the use of these vehicles. So I give him credit for that, and I applaud him for thinking outside the box with these.
I
and
think
researching.
we should purchase more of these type of vehicles for the town.
For the town,
Different
town
departments,
vehicles.
without a doubt.
Yep.
He-
And possibly electric.
He's actually coming up at the next work session requesting one more of these Ford hybrid Interceptors, Explorer Interceptors. So he's going to be buying one.
Was it in the budget?
Yeah,
Okay.
these are all
I
in
mean,
the
if it's
budget.
that's a different story, but, I agree we should continue to purchase hybrids and electric vehicles, but, if they're not budgeted yet, I'm not gonna spend the money on them, so, if there's a need, we will do it, possibly, but we're not just gonna go out because it's a great idea or because,
No, these
let's
are,
be fiscally responsible as well.
the cost of these two and the other one that he's coming up with is budgeted in his budget for 2021. So the funding is there for it.
Yep.
But I hear you, Frank, I agree with you, yeah. But let's try it. I think it's a good concept, and
Yeah.
I think it's definitely
And we'll
worthwhile
also
doing.
look for grant funding for electric vehicles.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
hopefully that will be possible.
Yeah. Okay, the 16th and final resolution this evening is a resolution authorizing capital equipment purchases for the Town of Carmel Highway Department. Councilman Lombardi, would you read 16, please?
Whereas the Town Board of the Town of Carmel had previously authorized capital borrowing and/or funding authorization to purchase of certain capital equipment and vehicles for the Town of Carmel Highway Department in year 2021. And whereas the Town of Carmel Highway Superintendent Michael Simoni has solicited bids pursuant to New York General Municipal Law for such capital improvement, and a copy of the memorandum summarizing bids and recommending the awarding of bids as set forth herein on file with the Office of the Town Supervisor. Now therefore be it resolved, the Town Board of Town of Carmel hereby accepts the recommendation of the Town of Carmel Highway Superintendent Michael Simoni, and hereby authorizes the purchase of two 2022 International 4x4 HB 507 cab and chassis, together with Temco dump body, plow, and sand at a unit cost not to exceed $253,714.66, each under Onondaga County bid contract number 8996, and pursuant to New York General Municipal Law, Section 103, paragraph 16. And be further resolved, the Town Controller Mary Ann Maxwell is hereby authorized to make any budgetary transfers necessary to effectuate the authorization and purchase. I offer this resolution as read.
Second.
Okay, seconded by Councilman Borelli. Councilwoman McDonough, roll call vote.
Councilman Shano?
Yes.
Councilman Borelli?
Yes.
Councilman Lombardi?
Aye.
Councilwoman McDonough?
Yes.
Supervisor Schmidt?
Yes, motion carried. Thank you. Okay, that completes the agenda items for this evening's Town Board voting meeting. I'm going to open up the floor to public comment at this time. If there's any members of the public that are here that would like to comment on the voting item resolutions that we acted on this evening, come on up to the podium at this time. How are you?
So good.
Good.
How are you?
Good, thank you.
I'm Erin Crowley from the Town of Carmel, Hamlet of Mayapack. I just wanted to touch base on resolution number 7, Jackson Lewis. Is there a total allocation that we've put aside for the budget of what we're going to be using per year with them?
We do.
And,
Yeah,
and what is that for each year?
It's budgeted for special counsel.
No,
and
I understand that. Is there a number that we're privy to?
There's a number I can give you. I don't have it here with me. I don't have it, I don't have the budget book out here with me tonight, but I can
Okay,
get it to you.
Tried to look it up. I didn't see it.
I'll get it to you.
Okay, perfect.
The other issue with that one is they are labor counsel, so they assist us with contract negotiations when needed be. So, for example, we're going to need them at some point this year, but if the contract lasts 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, for at least those contract negotiations, we're not going to need them. So they'll be available to us for telephone calls, consultations with the department heads, for any things like that. So it's not a significant cost to them unless there is litigation involved
So with contracts coming up, if there's.
If there's contracts coming up, we would use them, but based upon the experience that I've had in the past in negotiating, I've eliminated a couple of steps of not needing to use Jackson Lewis until we get to the final stage. So
Okay.
it saves us money as well.
Is there a retainer that they're required?
A retainer?
That's- Yeah, there's
No.
no
There's no
retainer.
retainer, it's an
No retainer.
hourly rate.
Okay.
Just hourly, yeah.
Just checking. And then I also had one other question about resolution number 10. How are the citizens, I'm sure, I'm part of a lake community as well, how are all the citizens notified about when the cutoff date is for the meter change? Are they notified by mail?
For the meter,
Yes.
yeah, they
Yes,
have, this
they're-
has been going on since 2019. Yes, they have been
Yeah.
notified by mail numerous times to contact either the town
engineering
hall,
department.
the engineering department, or the water meter themselves. And again, this is for the people on town water.
No, I understand
So if you have a
that.
well, you don't need it.
Yeah, I don't believe you're in a water
Yeah,
district.
you're not in a water district.
I'm Sycamore and I have a couple that surround. I just wanted to make sure
Yeah,
that
you're-
all, I'm.
Yeah, you're
I'm
not in an
a
area,
private lake
right.
district, right. I just wanted to make sure that everybody was,
Multiple times.
We've actually called people too. We've made multiple phone
Yeah.
calls
Okay.
to residents trying to get them to set up the appointment, and it's been very difficult. For the remaining ones,
Yeah.
we've made numerous attempts.
great.
Oh,
I
which
think maybe an announcement too, like on Facebook or
We-
on the town, I'm sure you've beat a
We've
dead
done
horse.
everything,
Yeah.
and, you know, some people, you just unfortunately, for some reason, they just don't want to do it. You know, the old saying, you can lead a horse to water, you can't make them drink. Unfortunately, there's some people like that.
I understand. Mail has been tough this year. That's why I was questioning that.
Yep.
Perfect. Thank you so much for your time.
You're
And
welcome.
The 2021 budget for Jackson Lewis Labor Council, we have budgeted 80,000.
For 2021. Thank you very
Yeah, I
much.
just pulled it up.
You got that?
It's all here. The entire budget is right here.
Thank you.
Okay, so
That's some
being there's no
recall,
other
right,
members of the public, is everybody here for the open forum? Aaron, are you here for the open forum, new business portion of the meeting at all? Oh, okay, all right, okay. Figured I'd ask.
Plus, it doesn't help that I can hear Greg talk.
Yeah.
All right, so we do have a couple of announcements. Susie, you want to do that one first?
Yep, and then I have just two quick other ones after this. Putnam County Department of Health is having a household hazardous waste drop-off day. It's going to be on May 1st and from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. at the Fawnstalk State Park on Route 301 in Kent. You do have to pre-register for it, and there's a whole list of, if you go on their site, there's a whole, I'm not going to read them, but there's a whole list of items that are permitted as well as items that are not permitted. But please go on their website, www.putnamcounty.ny.com/green-putnam to schedule your appointment. Again, May 1st, 2021, 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. at Fawnstalk State Park, the hazardous waste drop-off day.
Okay.
Did you want me to
thanks,
do my two
Yeah,
other
do-
quick
do yours
ones?
too,
Yeah. So the farmer's market's going to be starting up soon down at Swan Cove. They are still looking for vendors. So if you know of somebody that wants to be a vendor, or if you yourself would like to be a vendor, please contact Nina Kalmeyer at the at Carmel Recreation, 628-7888. And Nina, I'm sorry, that's probably not your last name anymore. It was, yeah.
Yeah.
And then also, last call for the Putnam input, for the community input for the master plan. We are going to have two webinars. One is going to be held on Saturday, April 17th at 10 a.m. The second and final one is going to be on Monday, April 19th at 7 p.m. We've had various ways for the public's input, to get the public input. The webinar is the last one before our consultants will put together a package to give to the town board here with their recommendations. So please, anyone in the public, if you want to get your questions, your input, your suggestion, your ideas, anything for the future town of Carmel, please be on one of these two websites. You do need to register for it, and just go to the Town of Carmel website, and you will be able to see the link on it, All right, it's also on the variable signs. If you signed up for the text messages, it's on there. So we'll get it out there, and it was also included in the flyer. Thank you,
I'm going to talk a
Kenny.
little bit about that.
Yeah, I still haven't received mine.
I just
I got mine today.
Okay,
got
well,
one
I didn't
today.
go to the mail today, so
Yeah.
maybe I got it. So thank you. That was it.
Okay, all right, so, everybody, you're gonna be getting this in your mailed to your home this week. 10,000, this was mailed out to 10,000 residential homes in the town of Carmel. This is an informational flyer. It gives a lot of detail about services that you can get from the town of Carmel government. It speaks about the regular kitchen refuse collection, and recycling is mandatory. It actually spells that out. It gives you a section of the law. There's a schedule in here for pickups for 2021, and the dates, the holiday pickups, and when the collections are going to occur, if your pickup falls on a holiday, New Year's Day, Independence Day, Thanksgiving Day, Christmas Day, things like that. So there's a lot of really good information in here in this flyer. So when you get it, do not throw it out. Hang on to it. Take a look at it. Don't throw it out. Put it somewhere for future reference, because it's going to be very helpful to you. It lists all the town of Carmel department phone numbers in it. Again, about recycling on the second page. It speaks about curbside bulk pickup, when that can be done, what they accept, what will not be collected with bulk pickups. It'll spell it right out. So everything you need to know about our garbage collection in the town of Carmel is right here in this flyer. It's very colorful. It was nicely done. I want to give Donna Stevies, who works in our engineering department, a lot of credit for this. Her and I worked on this for a few weeks now, and I think we put together a really nice flyer for the residents of the town of Carmel. So this idea was actually given to me by Councilman Borelli from the town of Southeast flyer that you handed to me.
Thank you.
A few months ago, so thank you for that. You know, that's where the idea came from, and we ran with it, and we put this together. So on the back, it's going to speak about the town of Carmel townwide litter cleanup dates. The Earth Day is April 22nd this year. The townwide cleanup for roadside litter will be 2 weeks. 2 weeks in 2021, starting Monday, April 19th through Sunday, May 2nd, weather permitting. So it's going to give you information about that. I just want to show you this. These are the orange garbage bags, the contractor's bags that we're going to give to you to clean up the sides of your street. So I have them available here in my office, and they're also available at the highway department. They're large contractor bags. Tell me how many you need, and I'll get them to you. Come to the town hall here. I'll leave them out with the SPO. If you need 10 of them, I'll give you 10 of them.
I actually was trapped as you're discussing. Go ahead, finish that, because it ties into that.
Okay. So we also have safety vests. So we want people to be very careful while they're out picking up the roadside litter, because you're going to be working on the shoulders of the road. I have a limited amount of vests. I have 25 of them. So as we hand them out and as you use them, please return them back to the town hall here so I can reissue them to other folks that would like to clean up their streets. So traffic safety vests, please wear them, or if you have bright colored clothing, shirts, orange or lime green, put those on. But we have vests available on a limited basis. We also have these pickers, these grabbers. They're pretty neat, all right, so you don't have to come in contact with the garbage you're picking up. Again, we have a limited supply of these pickers here. So if you tell me how many you need for your group, I'll have them here available for you on a date and time where you can stop by and pick these up. They have to be returned back to me, so we're going to ask you for your contact information, your phone number. If you don't get them back, we're going to give you a call and ask for them to please return them. So traffic safety vests for the cleanup week, pickers for you to use so you don't have to come in contact with the litter you're picking up, orange bags. We have tons of these. So if you need them, come by, just let me know. 628-1500, extension 0174, extension 138. Getting back to this real quick, Mike, you want to just piggyback
Yes.
on this? Yeah.
For the person that trapped me in my office this morning at 9 o'clock and berated me and yelled and screamed about the condition of the property across from CVS, which I don't know if the county owns it or the state owns it, of all the litter and garbage on it, there is a bag there's a vest and there's a handle. And you're more than welcome to go to that piece of property and clean it up. And the only reason why I'm talking like this is because the person was one of my daughters.
Okay. So we have everything available
Call the
for
big building down the road
for
as
your
well.
daughters. Yeah, I did notice
Can I
that.
piggyback on that too?
I mean,
I noticed
I took some heat, like, who owns it? Why isn't it cleaned up? I says, well, we have a cleanup time in 3 weeks. Make yourself available. And kept coming at me. Who owns it? Who's responsible?
And they did last year.
Then they did last year.
They did last year. Stillwater Road, both sides of Stillwater Road.
Yeah, I know.
10 bags.
I did see somebody out there, not with our orange bags, but another one.
Well, what she did say,
Yeah, yeah.
which really bothered me, and it was very truthful. She says, all my friends, when I tell them I live in Mayapack, they say, why? You know, the main downtown looks like crap. And it was a hard answer. I couldn't answer her. But, she came from Westchester. She has several friends in Westchester, and they all say, what? Why Mayapack? The lake. That was why.
Yeah.
But it's just sad that people
sad.
outside of the town still feel that way about the town of Carmel.
Yeah, it's bad, Mike. I agree with you. I don't get it, but it's bad, and we're going to do a full court press this year to get the town cleaned up. So when you do request these contractor bags for the cleanup and the vest and the pickers, please tell us which streets you're cleaning up also, because that's important. So when you finish picking up the litter, don't take the bag home with you. Tie a knot in it and leave it on the shoulder of the road, and the highway department will pick it up. We just need to know which streets to go to pick them up. So when you pick up the bags, just please tell us where you're going to be doing your cleanup, and I'll know to let the highway department that the bags are going to be out there on the shoulder of the road. Just tie a knot in it, leave it off the shoulder, and they'll pick it up when you're finished cleaning up the following couple days after. So let's do a good job this year, everybody. Let's all chip in, clean up the town. There's a lot of litter, a lot of trash. There's actually 2 years' worth because we didn't do it last year because of COVID. So, so it's 2 years' worth out there, and it is bad. I have to agree with Councilman Borelli. I know
Ken,
the location he's talking about.
Do they keep a running tab of the roads that have been cleaned? So if someone requested a bag and they're going to tell you what road they're going to, maybe we can keep a running tab so we know which roads have been cleaned up?
We have a log here.
Yes.
All right, good.
And Highway has a log.
Good.
So we're both keeping logs of where the streets are that have to be cleaned up.
Good.
So when you do it, just please be careful.
I'll meet you up in Carmel, we'll do it.
Okay.
Kenny, can I piggyback on that for a second?
Yep.
I think it was sometime either or last fall or maybe at the beginning of this year, I don't remember. I had mentioned that there's a property traveling from Route 6 down Union Valley Road on the left-hand side before you get to Tea Kettle, the estate of Parents, you know it, Kenny, we've spoken about it, that several years ago, it was part of a federal cleanup of, I don't know, they removed thousands of tires from there. Anyway, people, and I'm hoping that they are not people from this town, feel that it is a dump, and they can dump, there's a washing machine, parts there, there's a mattress, there's a couch. I talked about it a few months ago. There was some more stuff, one more thing that was dumped on it recently. So I have spoken to Mike Carnaza, I've spoken to council, I've spoken to the police chief. We, hopefully next week, Mike Carnaza will be bringing to the town board under our property condition, a cleanup of that. I have a plan in mind to close off that property, which I believe is under the purview of the county. I think based on tax liens, Kenny, right?
It is, yeah.
So spoke to the
Greg is
chief. We
saying-
also have,
Yeah, Greg is saying no.
Well, highway department
No,
could
no, no.
drop some rocks. They could do something to block it.
we have to put rocks, but we also have to put a chain because God forbid there's a fire. First responders need to get in there. But I have a plan. I spoke to the police chief the other night, and we are going to look at the enforcement that we have with our code. I'm going to look to triple the fines. I'm going to look to do some more stuff, and I'm hoping, spoke to the chief, we're going to have some surveillance in some areas of town with regard to that because it's outrageous. And I'm hoping that maybe, I'm hoping it's not the residents of this town. maybe it's some other people, but now that people have gotten that, know where they can deposit or make phone calls to get the bulk pickup done, that it doesn't need to be that way. And I understand the history of that property, I know it well, but it's not a dump. The people who travel up and down Union Valley Road every day, including myself and probably thousands of others, don't need to be looking at that. That's not the Carmel that we live in. And you'll be pretty surprised at the stuff that we're going to come up with the enforcement and surveillance. And I think some of our local neighboring towns have done some stuff with that. So we're going to piggyback on some of that, and we're going to move it forward very quickly.
Yeah, okay, great, thanks, Frank. All right, so just to wrap this up with the brochure, with the flyer that everybody's getting this week. Inside, as Susie mentioned, there's an insert inside of it. It's not part of the flyer, and it gives you information about the Town of Carmel Comprehensive Plan update. Join us for a public workshop, and it gives the dates of the workshop as well. So that's inside the flyer, so everybody is getting this. So when they look through it, they'll see this announcement for the comprehensive meetings. All right, we're just trying to get the word out. Please get involved with the comprehensive plan, and the way that you can do that is to join us for the two meetings on April 17th or April 19th as well. So, and there's a couple of...
With the Zoom, though,
It's hard. Yeah.
it's hard. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
I almost wish they would put off a month or two and push back a month or two until people, they're going to open up the states 50% in May. And with the way the vaccines are coming out now, there shouldn't be any Zoom asking people to come in on a Zoom meeting for something as important as a comprehensive plan, because I know a lot of people are uncomfortable with it, and they'd rather be here speaking about it. And I think for how many years we've waited for it, a couple more months isn't going to kill anybody.
Mike, just so you know, in case you weren't aware, we did have a in-person at Sycamore Park, and we actually had to close one of the meetings because we did not have enough interest. We only allowed 50 people. We did talk about having another in-person, because these are times that we're not used to right now. You know, it happened during COVID. We have pushed it off, Kenny, you know, many months. You know, if the need is, if we don't get what we need from the webinar and people don't feel that they were able to give us their thoughts, we're not, I'm only going to speak for myself, the town board can speak for them. I'm not going to rush anything through because this is too important to the town. So if the residents feel that they did not get enough input, by all means, contact us and we can wait. There's no reason why we can't wait for an in-person. Me personally, I don't think that they're going to open things up until possibly the end of the year, the beginning of next year. If we need to wait, don't forget, we do have the consultants. We're going to have to revisit their contract because they are under contract. Again, something this important and this big, we do not want to rush it. But we've thought about, you know, we do have a committee together. Mike, you're on it also. So, yes, Aaron.
Hi, just in regards to that meeting, I received the email secondhand. I do believe something like you said, this important, should really be sent out in many different ways.
It was.
So I didn't get anything
Yeah,
in the mail.
it was sent out, just so I can tell you, it was sent out, it was on the 2 variable signs. It was sent out via text. It was in the newspapers. And what else did we do? It's on the website, and it was also in the newspaper.
If you don't, and I don't mean to cut you off, if you don't subscribe to the newspapers, which I pick up the newspapers when I go to a local store and I like to read them, but I don't subscribe to all of them, and not everybody does.
Oh, that's why we did multiple, but
I think
that's why we did multiple avenues.
So on a Zoom meeting that I had last night with several of your constituents, I brought up the meeting that is being had, and I can say a good portion of them were not aware. So I think we have to look into the future a little bit and make sure that we're really taking our time to get it out to the 36,000. Okay.
Every single resident in this town is getting one in this folder that the supervisor just spoke of. We
So it'll
have,
be sent to their home?
it was also
It
on
was.
Facebook, Mayapack Moms. It was on
I
Mayapack.
think what you missed,
It was
what I
on
meant
Mayapack
before.
Moms as well.
I think-
So that has over 3,000 subscribers, which I know you guys are on. So I mean, listen, if people feel the need that they need more, contact me. That's all.
I understand that too, and I know the meetings that you had last year at Sycamore Park were also full, some of them, because
We had
people-
one meeting.
People couldn't get in, there
No,
was too many people.
That's false information.
I think everybody's missing my point. It's not that everything's going to open up and this place is going to fill up. But today I brought 6 employees of mine to get a vaccine. I got my everybody in this room has their vaccine.
Yep.
What I'm saying is, in the next 30 days, the vaccines are out everywhere now. The pharmacies are going to get them next week, a lot of the local ones. I got 3 calls from 3 different pharmacies. What I'm saying is, in 30 to 60 days, a lot of people are going to feel more comfortable to come here and express their opinion and speak publicly. A lot of people do not like Zoom. I hate Zoom.
Oh, I don't like it
I was
either.
on
I
a-
agree.
I was on a Zoom EBT yesterday from somebody suing the town of Carmel, and I hated it,
Yeah.
okay? And
Yeah,
all
I-
I'm saying is, you have 2 Zoom meetings in April that I think if the people knew they can come in here and we're going to have a meeting in June, there's going to be people in here, not like it is tonight where there's nobody here. And April, May, and June is only 60 days. And on something this critical, I don't think it should be only Zoom. That's what, my opinion.
Right, it hasn't only been Zoom, and like I said, I am open, and we can have another meeting. I would not do it in June, it's too quick. It's not going to be opened up enough for people to come for the public. If we're going to do something public, it's going to have to probably be pushed back to the fall, which again, I'm fine with. This is the master plan, we're talking about the future of our town, you know, and everyone who wants to have a say should be able to have a say. So I'm open to it, tell them to give me a call.
I absolutely will
Okay.
pass that on, thank you. And
Yep.
I agree that I think that this should be taken very seriously.
It
and-
has been.
And all,
It-
with
it-
COVID, all should be able to be there in person
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
express their feelings.
This, I could-
Because the passion that we've talked about
Right.
and that the time that you've put into this and everybody here has put into
Yeah.
it, you know,
Yeah,
people deserve to
even the
get the
even the
full-
people, even the residents have put in a tremendous amount of time. But please, this has been taken very seriously. We have thought outside of the box. We have been, this past year, no one has been through a situation like this past year.
Right.
Okay? So if we have to push it longer, again, absolutely no problem at all. I have no time frame for it, other I'd like to see it done before I die, you know, so.
Okay, so I will just, is
Yep.
it fair to say that I can direct
Give 'em my-
anybody who asks the question to you?
Yep.
Is that via
Yes.
email?
Yep, email.
And
Yeah,
I'll go from there.
Okay,
Thank you for
thank you,
letting me
Erin.
comment about it.
Of course.
I appreciate it.
Thank you.
So you know, before you adopt it, you're going to have public hearings.
right.
And the time frame for your public hearings may be at the end of this year. I'm not sure
I don't
you'll
want to
be.
wait, I don't want to wait for that. I don't want to wait to the end
Right.
for that. I want to be able to give the people at least 1 or 2 chances this summer to come in and discuss it face to face. And I truly believe, with the way the vaccines are coming out, in the next 30 days, you're going to see a dramatic difference in people's attitude about going out. That's all I'm saying.
All right. Kenny, I just got a message that Facebook page has 9,000 people on it. Not
9,000?
3, yeah. Keeps going up every day.
What Facebook?
That's the one you were talking about.
Mayapack Moms has
Mayapack Moms.
9,000.
Yeah, and it was on it, so.
Yeah, yeah, no, I agree.
Any avenue, you know, again, to the saying, we can bring the horse to the water, but we can't make them drink it. We will do everything in our power to get it out there again. We'll mention it again at every single meeting like we used to. We'll get it out there. There's no issue. We're not going to rush this.
All right, yeah, well, we want people to get involved in it.
Yeah, and
We-
a
we
lot,
encourage them to
and
get
just so
involved.
you know, a lot of people have. Every single person, well, I don't want to say every single person, but everyone had the ability also to do the survey. which we got a lot on. But, I don't want to beat a dead horse. We will continue this until we feel that everyone in the community that wanted to hear, to give their input will get it. And I agree with Mike. I don't want to wait for the, to Nelson, Pope, and Forrest to give us theirs, because then it's kind of I don't want to say it's too late, because it's never too late.
I just had somebody say something. It is great, and Mayapack Moms is great, and all these things are fantastic, but if you don't use the computer, we have our 74-year-old father-in-law who doesn't even know how to dial the cell phone, and if he presses mute on his remote, it's literally like the end of the world. So that's why I was bringing up that point. I know it's the age of technology, but we do have to appeal to everybody. And that was what I was speaking of. A lot of seniors are
The
really.
free, Aaron, it was in the free paper that everyone gets in Mahopac, not in Carmel.
But during
In Carmelton.
COVID-
During COVID, it was still there.
But if they
It was
don't-
in the Mahopac newspaper. It was in the Mahopac newspaper, yeah.
Okay.
We will get it out.
That's
Don't-
all I'm asking.
We
It's
will
just
get
that
it
a
out.
postcard goes
Yep,
out
and if
in
you
the
have
mail.
any suggestions, give me a call,
Sure.
okay?
Okay, thanks, Sue.
Yep.
All right, thank you. All right, just one other quick thing. Just important to note that we have a historical society in the town of Carmel. As a lot of you know, they haven't been very active over the years, and it's no fault of anybody that was on the committee or was part of our historical society. Sadly, we lost a couple of very, very active people that were involved in it. Greg Amato was one, and Lillian Eberhardt was another one, her husband. So what's happened is a lot of the members that were very active have either passed away, sadly, or they've, I don't want to, it's hard to say this, but they've aged out. What I mean by aging out is it's very difficult for them to continue to participate with the Historical Society. So I'm pleased to report that we are reorganizing the Historical Society. I had a meeting the other day with 5 residents of the community who are very excited about getting involved and participating in the Historical Society. And some of them are very young folks. It's our younger people who are interested in the local history of the town of Carmel. So we've begun, just briefly tonight, I wanted to let the public know and the board know that we've begun to reorganize the Historical Society. The Historical Society is located right up the street here on McAlpin Avenue. It's 40 McAlpin Avenue. It's a beautiful old building. It used to house the town hall, the original town hall, and Carmel PD. The building is packed with artifacts from the town of Carmel and Mahopac. A lot of historic items are up there, and I want to start opening that up to the public to view those items, as for education for them, for the community. A lot of people are interested in the history of the town of Carmel. That building is where you need to go. All right, so the new committee, and we're looking for new members, by the way. If you are interested in serving on the Town of Carmel Historical Society Committee, please contact my office at 845-628-1470, and I will have a conversation with you. I'll let you know what you need to do to participate and to become involved. We're going to have a follow-up meeting in 2 weeks. So the group that met on Tuesday will be meeting again in 2 weeks from today. And we're going to be discussing how moving forward, how we're going to begin to reorganize. So if you want to be a member of the Town of Carmel Historical Society, contact me, and I'll give you information on how you can join that really, really amazing group and amazing entity in the Town of Carmel. So Jim Meyer, who is the town historian, was at the meeting. He's excited about moving forward with the new group of people. So we really want to make things happen in the town, and we really want to get the word out that the Town of Carmel Historical Society is open, and you'll be able to participate and, join us with future Historic Society events that are going to take place in the Town of Carmel. So that's all I have for tonight.
I have something that I'd like to
Yeah, I
discuss.
have something too.
Okay.
As I think we all know that the state passed a $212 billion budget. Okay, just the other day. Part of the budget is the belief that the passage of legalization of marijuana in the state of New York is going to generate $300 million. All right? So I guess I got to be honest with you guys. This is now, the legislation that I read a few years ago, it was dependent upon, if it had been passed at that time, was dependent upon each county approving whether or not they would have and allow marijuana shops to be open up in the county. And if they did, they would be sharing in the revenues of it from the state, from the sales tax of that. The newer legislation that was passed leaves it up to each town. I'm not looking for anybody here to make any comment other than myself. I just decided, I thought about this. It's been bothering me for a while. I've spoken to some school administration and school board members, and they feel the same way that I do. We had passed several years ago, and I sponsored, Kenny, you remember, we passed a bill in this town to do away with, make it illegal to sell synthetic marijuana. Do you remember that? And the reason for that, it's bad for people, especially our children. I was proud of that, and the county basically adopted that legislation that we did. I'm not in favor of this town, and again, I'm speaking just for myself. I don't expect anybody else to comment, but it's going to come before us, and I've been reading some of our local nearby towns have already discussed it because they've had some board meetings since the legislation has passed. This is our first one. I am not in favor of this town allowing marijuana shops to be open. I'm sure this is going to be debated. I'm sure there's going to be people out there who might disagree with me, but I do believe that the majority of the residents of the town of Carmel believe what I believe, that it is very dangerous. Do I believe that people should go to jail for possession of small amounts of marijuana? No. No. If you want to legalize it and decriminalize it, that's okay. I don't ever want to have on my conscience that we allowed a marijuana shop to be open here in the town of Carmel, and we received $50,000, $100,000 from it based upon we already have enough problems in this community with distracted driving, and all you have to do is drive on Route 6 to see it. Drunk driving. You know, depending on your height and weight and size, you can go to a bar and have a couple of drinks with your friends for a couple hours, get in the car, and you'll be fine to drive, okay? And the police are always on the lookout for it anyway. You get into a car after you've smoked marijuana, that's an automatic and quick response to your brain, and that is dangerous driving. That is going to impact the lives of many people in this community. I know that Somers is not in favor of it, and you know, years ago, Kenny, I think you remember when Vinnie DeGrande came on to Mayapack Middle School, there was no DARE program there. It stopped at 6th grade or at 5th grade. And I spoke to him at that time, and he was gracious enough to allow us to bring the DARE program back into the schools. And what did we do? We warned the kids of the dangers of this for their health, but also for the general safety, operating vehicles, et cetera, and we brought it to them, to the 8th graders afterwards, right before the summer began, and preached the same things. And I believe that all of us are probably on the same page, but again, everybody should take their time to think about it, but it's not something that I'm in favor of. It's unfortunate if a neighboring town wants to do it, they can go to the neighboring town and buy it, and there's nothing I can do about that. But I do have the responsibility to represent this town, and I believe that it is not safe, that I believe it is dangerous, and maybe maybe I'll be voted down 4-1, but at the end of the day, I want everybody to know what my position is. I do not think it was smart legislation, and I'm very disheartened by it. And that's all I'm going to say for now. I know that we're probably going to have at some point some discussions and public hearing and whatever, but you know now how I feel, and that's it.
Okay. Thanks for, does anybody else want to comment?
Yes, I'll try to make this quick since we're going a half hour after the meeting really ended. But I've asked this several times. I'm getting more and more people every week asking me. But 3 weeks ago, I asked for the status report of the theft of services of the sewer line, and I'm curious about the status of it.
Yeah, I can answer that, Mike. I'm waiting for the police reports. So the police were called in to investigate both those matters, and I was told that reports are going to be prepared by the detectives that are investigating both those cases.
Okay.
I haven't gotten them yet, but I was told that there will be reports.
Okay, I'm just curious for the record and for the people that have been asking me, but this one particular theft of services was known before I even was on this board, like about 4 years, just a little over 3 years from before, now 4 years. And, you know, due to the great investigative journalism of a very famous reporter, 2 previous board members and the deputy supervisor pretty much signed a blank check for a law firm to investigate me. And at the time they knew there was somebody else that was actually stealing from the town. Why wasn't that law firm who, it was funny because I'm reading the Wall Street Journal last week, and I think they were rated number 16th or 18th in the country. Why weren't they just given that name too? And you could have knocked off 2 birds with 1 stone. And why is this person being investigated downstairs and not sent to the sheriff's office or the DA? I can't grasp the difference here and why it's being treated differently. I would have thought if you're going to spend $250,000 to investigate somebody and you have a known thief that's documented, why didn't you just tell that person to investigate both of them? And why are we still waiting for a report from downstairs? I mean, this is going on almost four years. So I would think, you know, soon, Kenny, please tell me how it was resolved. I mean, I don't think it's an unreasonable request.
No, it's not.
Okay.
No, it's not. I'll
That's all I have.
I'll inquire tomorrow, Mike, what the status of the police reports are. And
Okay.
as soon as I can get them, I'll share that with you. And then I'll also.
Well, I think I think there's quite a few, trust me, there's quite a few members of the public that want to know too.
Okay. All right. We'll let the public know.
Okay.
All right. Anybody else? No? Okay. All right, so we're gonna end the meeting from here. We don't have executive session tonight, so the next time we meet will be on April 14th for a town board work session. All right, so I need a motion to close.
So moved.
Motion made by Councilman Borelli.
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Shannon to close. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Good night,
Good night,
everyone.
everyone.
Be well, stay safe. We'll see you on April 14th. Good night.